Hello everyone, today we are going to talk about how our feminine energy makes our life easier, how we can use it to make our life easier. A lot of women these days are being too much in their masculine energy. They are living in survival mode. They are literally exhausting their body so much, not feeling good, not doing something that they like, living in a world that is actually built more for men. And also the whole working system, all the 9 to 5s, it's all made more for men. And men and women are not the same. That is the actual truth. But how can we then use our feminine energy to make our life easier? How does it make our life easier? Let's talk about that in this video. Okay, I'm just going to get into it. The first thing is that your perspective shifts. When you're more in your feminine energy, you're more grateful for everything. You have more gratitude. You look at life through a more positive lens. Because to connect to your feminine energy, you need to do some inner work. This also means that you need to challenge the limiting beliefs that you had. The limiting beliefs that are built into your brain from when you were a child. Because when we are a child, obviously we believe everything that everyone is telling us, and these things get programmed in our minds. While they can actually block our blessings, they can literally hold us back so much in our adult life. And now it is our responsibility to actually work on ourselves, do some inner work, and challenge those beliefs. Beliefs like making money is hard or money is in some way evil. Beliefs that you need to work extremely hard to make money, that you need to work a 9 to 5 to make money, that you can't do it in a more joyful, easier way. Beliefs like that. When you actually work on them and you actually start to adopt beliefs that will serve you in life and will get you further, this makes your life so much easier. For me personally, I also worked on becoming more positive, looking at everything with gratitude, in a positive light. When something bad happens, looking at it like it had to teach me a lesson, or actually being grateful that it didn't turn out worse and that I was actually being protected. Looking at everything from a more positive lens instead of being in this victim mode, complaining all of the time, thinking that everything happens to them and that they don't have control and that they're just a victim and can't change their own life or can't have any control over their own life. What you believe, what you focus on is what you attract. So if you focus on positive things, if you focus on shifting your perspective, looking at things from a different lens, looking at things from a lens that actually serves you, you will become so much happier, so much lighter. You get a higher vibe, and it will also attract more positive people into your life, and you will become really magnetic. It's something that you need to work on yourself, but believe me, it's so worth it, and it changes your whole life. The second reason why feminine energy makes your life easier is because you rest more. You are not pushing yourself until you burn out. You actually know when to take rest, you give your body what it needs. If it needs movement, if it needs a certain kind of healthy food, if it just needs some sleep or meditation, you actually give it to your body. Even though you feel like you have 1,000 things to do, you don't work until you burn out. And this will benefit you in so many ways, because this will make sure that the work that you actually do will be of higher quality. Your creativity will come to life more. Your mind will be more fresh. You will have less brain fog. And that will also make sure that your work and all the things that you need to do actually go quicker, more efficient. And when you just keep working, burning yourself out, you actually are going to take far more time to do all the things that you need to do. And maybe then you need to rest for months because you're just so burnt out. So when you actually worked on getting out of that survival mode, actually worked on listening to your body, being in your body, listening to what it needs. Does it need rest? What does it need? And you actually listen to that, you will feel way better. You will feel far more rested and at peace. And that obviously also makes your life easier everything flows more. You will be more connected to your intuition. Everything will come to you way quicker, all the creative ideas and all those things. So that's why I think every woman should connect to their feminine energy. Another reason why feminine energy makes your life so much easier is because you dare to connect to your childlike version of you again, and you play with life. You actually start doing things again that you loved when you were a child, and just add this element of play to every aspect of your life, to your work, to the sports that you do. You just release some control, you dare to play with life, try different things. This will make life so much lighter. A weight will literally fall off of your shoulders, and not everything feels as heavy anymore, because you don't take life too seriously. You just don't let all the hard things in your life, all the tough things weigh you down. Also, because you stop forcing things and you start flowing more, you start trusting, you also start to attract things instead of chasing them all the time. Chasing men, chasing a certain career, chasing validation of people, chasing, I don't know, a certain amount of followers, chasing a healthy body. You actually start to attract those things into your life with less effort instead of chasing after the thing. Because as I always say, what you chase runs from you. But if you're actually just in your feminine energy, you're laid back, you're relaxed, you take care of yourself, you make sure you rest enough, you don't force yourself, you don't go above and beyond to get everyone's validation, you don't burn yourself out to get a certain career. When you actually let go, you trust, you have discipline, you work on the things that you need to work on, but you don't burn yourself out. You trust life, you're just happy with who you are, and you trust that everything will come to you. You start attracting everything so much easier without having to put in this crazy amount of effort and burning yourself out. It's actually so ironic. Some people really do crazy things to attract a certain person, or they're burning themselves out and working day and night to get to a certain career goal. But then certain people that are just taking more time to take care of themselves, being happy in themselves and not trying to please everyone, everything flows through them much easier. And they actually are more able to actually keep that thing in their life. It's so funny because you actually just need to focus on yourself, take care of yourself, do what you love, make sure you're healthy and all these things and on a high vibe, and everything will become so easy. And some people are trying all these tricks, for example, to attract a certain person. They're just chasing that person, and the person is just playing with them and running from them. Then just another woman that's just living her life happily and not chasing after anyone is just attracting so much people. Same for a career. Some people that work so hard on their businesses or YouTube channels, it doesn't really grow as fast. They get there eventually, but then certain content creators that are really in their feminine energy are just being themselves and sharing their knowledge very authentically, like they just explode in this short amount of time. It's so crazy. Your feminine energy is actually magical. Be happy that you're a woman, because if you can tap into this and use it, it's so amazing. The next thing is that you will start to feel more safe in yourself. You start to build self-trust. You feel like you are like kind of protected, and you just trust that everything will work out. This is why I also think it is good to have like a belief in a higher power, like a god or just a universe. It's just so good to be able to connect to that thing and always have this thing to go to, something that you can trust. I feel like it gives you this feeling of protection and peace in your life, that you wouldn't have if you didn't believe in anything. So when you are able to feel safe in your life and trust that everything will work out, you will also be more able to be in a calm state of mind and get out of that chronic survival mode that most of us are in. And this survival mode, again, it makes us feel chronically stressed. It blocks our creativity. It makes us chase after things. It's very bad. And if we're chronically in distress, it is so unhealthy. So much people focus on what foods they consume, how they sleep, or their movement, or their health. But I feel like a lot of them really ignore the stress part, while this is so important. It's at least as important as your nutrition, as your movement. It's so important to work on creating a calmer nervous system. And sometimes we don't even realize it. The next thing also is that your relationships will flow more. As I already said, you attract people way easier to you because you're not in this desperate state of mind. And also when you have a friendship, when you have a relationship, if you're more an anxious person and you're constantly like, oh, why didn't this person reply to me? Do they not like me anymore? And you become very needy, very desperate, very anxious. The other person will feel that and you will push them away without you knowing it, because you're constantly just scared and you're maybe asking them, oh, did I do something wrong while they were just busy or something. But when you connected to your feminine energy and you worked on yourself, you are actually happy in yourself, you're secure, you're not attached to the outcome of something. If you keep this person in your life, amazing. If you don't keep it, also okay. Something else will come into your life. If you believe that and you're not desperate in these relationships, it will flow so much more because you're just happy having yourself. You know you can attract everything that you want. You know that you can attract amazing people, that you deserve to attract amazing people. And if people treat you poorly, you will let them go and you will attract something else. If you're in that state of mind, life will become so much easier. When you're actually connected to your feminine energy, you are living your passion. Because I really feel that you cannot be completely in your feminine energy if you are not doing something that is your passion. I would even say if you don't like your work. If you're in a 9 to 5, you have to struggle to get enough money to survive. You don't like the job. I think it's very hard to be in your feminine energy. And sometimes you need to go through these periods to survive while you're also building something else that you actually love doing, or while you're looking for another job. But when you're actually connected to your feminine energy, you are doing your passion. You are actually doing what you love in life for a job, or you have hobbies that you love a lot. Even if your work isn't like amazing, but you think it's okay and you have things on the side, projects on the side that you love, and maybe in the future they become your job. You maybe create a business or whatever, or you find a job that you actually love in that field. But you need to be content with your life. Your job can stress you out like crazy. You can't be surrounded constantly by negative people or people that just drain you completely. It is not possible to be in your feminine energy then. Because yes, you can do practices like closing off your energy when you're around these people, but if you're constantly around it, I think it will still have a big impact on you. The point being, if you actually have connected to your feminine energy, you are actually working on your passion, you will also obviously become happier. Life will become way more fulfilling. There will probably be some hard work that you need to do, but you will feel way better while doing it because it's something that you actually love. And obviously that will make life so much easier, so much better, so much more fulfilling. You will feel so much happier. I forgot this. I actually should talk about this too. When you are in your feminine energy, you have learned to receive help, to receive compliments. Obviously, when you ask for help, when you dare to receive help, obviously your life will become easier. A lot of people will want to do a lot of things for you. You will become so spoiled by everyone because that's just what you attract. People want to do things for you because you're just so grateful. You make them feel so good. You're in this high energy. You know, I feel a lot of people use this excuse of being in a victim mode. They really want to get the compassion or the attention from people by being like, oh, look how hard my life is, and being negative all the time. But in the end, this isn't going to serve you, and you're just not gonna live a happy life if you keep doing this. And yes, connecting to your feminine energy, becoming a more positive person and happy person takes work. It takes inner work. But I think it's actually so fun to do, and it's so fulfilling to see yourself grow, to see yourself work through things. And I think learning and growing is also one of the things that life is just about as a person. You need to keep growing and evolving, and it will be such a beautiful journey to do. And you will actually love it when you really get into it. And it's not easy, but it's better to do the inner work that is sometimes very hard. That will be less hard than if you live your whole life in victim mode, being unhappy and miserable. That's the video that I wanted to make today. I hope you learned something from this. I hope I convinced you to go work on yourself and connect to your feminine energy more. I also still have a long way to go, but let's just grow together. Let's just work on ourselves every day. Let's do something little that scares us every day to make ourselves grow. Let's listen to our body more. Let's slow down. Let's just see how good life can get. I thank you so much for listening. If you liked the video and you like the topic that I'm speaking about, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.